Hi, guys. Welcome to the Rich in Truth podcast. I have an amazing guest with me today. She's actually my friend, and I'm really so excited to welcome her. So, my lovely, please introduce yourself for the people.
Okay, so my name is Wendy Brobe. I am Ghanaian, but was born in Paris. I work in the legal sector, and at the same time, I have a business.
Mhm.
And I'm from Northwest London, I guess. Yeah.
Northwest London. So, just tell us a bit. Where was you born,
I was born in a northern suburb in Paris, I guess, northern, between the Charles de Gaulle Airport and the big stadium.
and how long was you there until before you came here?
Born and raised there, been in England for 10 years now.
Mhm.
So, born and raised in one of the most craziest neighborhoods
Mhm.
in it's called Gare de Gonesse.
Yeah.
That's the name of the neighborhood. So,
Yeah.
was born there. Yeah, grew up there, did everything there.
What made you want to stay in London?
London was my plan B.
Yeah.
So I was meant to go to the US
Mhm.
for a law degree
Yeah.
that my parents were like, "No, we can't afford this. It's too expensive."
Mhm.
So I actually did my law degree in France, and then
Yeah.
quite frustrated with the system and everything. So I
Yeah.
just decided to like take whatever I got and go to London. So I came to England with £700 in my pocket and one spot
Mm.
in uni. Just didn't care. Just was like, we'll see how it will go.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell us about like growing up in France, because I'm sure the area you mentioned is like a rough part of France, right? Like the
Yeah.
ghetto.
Yeah. I guess it was quite rough because
Mm.
we like the forgotten ones, right?
Yeah.
So it was hard to like get into some prestigious schools, for example,
Yeah.
because you're from the neighborhood and you're
Yeah.
black. So
Yeah.
and also you're a woman. So on top of that, I had like triple threat type of treatment.
Mhm.
But I guess what had me motivated to actually leave the neighborhood is because
Yeah.
I didn't want it to like stay there and
Yeah.
be the same way. Just really wanted to like change the whole thing so I can actually come back and be like,
Yeah.
hey, there's space for us.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you ever experience anything bad like living in that neighborhood, or you
Oh
kind of
yeah.
got lucky? Or you have?
Oh yeah, we have. I think most of us we had so much. I mean, there was always something going on.
Yeah.
Even one time, took the trash outside, and so
Mm.
we had like this little basement, and there
Yeah.
was a smell, and we had no idea for like a whole week. We had no
Yeah.
idea what it was, but
Yeah.
actually, it was somebody
A dead body.
dead body there. Yeah, I
Oh my
didn't see
gosh.
it, but
Yeah.
we kind of like figured out that okay, something is there, probably an animal or
Yeah.
something. So yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
Mm.
Obviously the main subject like for this podcast is the importance of choosing a right man.
Yeah.
Obviously I myself, I'm not married, so I can't really comment on like the way to choose a right man, but I know you've had a few engagements, but unfortunately they haven't gone to the next step.
Fortunately, you mean?
Well, yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, fortunately,
Let's
babe.
be safe.
So just tell us about it. So tell us like the first engagement and like what happened there.
So I was with this guy and it was just amazing
Yeah.
and met the family and we
Yeah.
had this beautiful thing going on.
Mhm.
Then he proposed obviously. And
How long were you together before he proposed?
a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so what happened is that he moved to another country and I mean to another state and
Mm.
it was quite, a bit strange, but
Yeah.
it was still going in.
Yeah.
So I was engaged to him, and
Mm-hmm.
then I started realizing that
Mm.
he was acting a bit different
Mm.
and all of that. So of course I knew his peoples and all of
Mm.
that. So um, I guess a couple of months later,
Mm.
he's on Facebook and he's married to someone else. And
Was he Nigerian?
nah,
Mm.
but he married a Nigerian woman.
Oh wow. Where was he
Um,
from?
so he was a American Italian.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Them
Don't go with them.
Italians.
Yeah, so
Mm.
okay, I just want to give a quick a quick little thing here.
Mm.
Y'all don't need to be mad at me, but growing up in France, I was
Mm.
more like because I grew up around so many cultures. And being Ghanaian, I was meant to be whether here or Germany, but we were born here, in France. So I was around Cameroonians, Congolese, and all of that, like we family. So I always thought that, it would be great to be into an interracial relationship. I thought that was for me, right? Not because I didn't like my brothers, but it's just I was like, maybe, I can have the whole globe in my family or something like that. And it didn't work out. So that was my mindset way before, So my very first, failed engagement was, he actually got married to this woman and I was still engaged to him, which was weird. And I had people come, calling me and be like,
so you literally found out via the Facebook post that
right,
the man that you was engaged to
right,
married another woman.
Right. Wow. And I have so many people messaging me and be like, this ain't you. What's going on? And I had no idea either. So I was at home.
Yeah.
And I know my parents were like, I couldn't tell them. So what I did, I went to my neighbor, who's my friend.
Yeah.
And so I dialed and I was like, what's going on? I was like, I'm gonna be calm, Yeah. And he's like, and he was like talking, funny and saying bad stuff, because the thing is, he couldn't cuss me out in my face. Like, it would not happen.
Yeah.
But he started talking funny and all of that.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, just send me back my ring whenever you can, whatever, my clothes, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And obviously I sent everything back because I was like, I'm gonna wash my hands. We good, know. And I had to I guess I got depressed for like almost a year and a half.
Yeah. Obviously that would make you depressed.
Oh yeah. I was depressed for a year and a half and I was so pissed off.
Yeah.
Didn't understand what was going on. And so his mom and I had a very strong bond. The lady was sending me letters back and forth.
Do you know what? I've realized that's always the way. Like, you and their mum might get on, but at the end of the day, that's her son.
Yeah.
So when he's out there doing whatever he's doing, that's her son.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good a relationship you guys think you have.
The funny story is that she still talks to me. And in the beginning, I was like, nah, I don't want to talk to you. But she's like, nah, I really loved you. Like, you have no idea how, you truly but you've done a lot for me and we've been like friends.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so we still talk, but I'm still like, nah, I need to keep that in my mind that this is somebody who's, son's in the past.
So would you say that kind of put you off interracial dating from that? Like, have you ever looked at another man like from another race, or has that put you off being like, nah, do you know what? I'd rather stick to the devil I know than branch out?
I guess so.
Can we quiet down ad-libs in the back,
y'all
please?
need to be quiet. So no, so the very last person I dated who was not black, it was after this one.
Yeah.
I think I gave myself 5 years because I was like, all right, and I was like,
don't blame you, babe. Don't blame you.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, I'm not going there. But the last guy who he was from Sweden, and I was like, oh, there's one thing I know about Scandinavians. There's no in between. It's either they like you or not, And so, but the thing is, he actually grew up around a lot of black people. So it was quite interesting. But it just didn't work out because he didn't want to get married.
Yeah.
And the baby mama was racist, calling me a nigger.
Oh, Lord.
And I told her to pull up, and I said, yeah.
Girl! No, can I just say something? Because you are so classy. Ever since I've known you, so classy. So I know that it must have, she must have taken it to a next level for you to get drawn out.
I'm
like
classy,
that.
but I can knock if you're back. That's the thing, So she told me, I told her to pull up, and she was like, she's gonna bring her friends, and I'm like, don't bring your friends, come. And she's like, she was from Chile, which really, I was like, what?
Chile?
Like, are they racist? And she was like talking funny and all that, saying that she's bringing a machete. And I said, you don't need to bring a machete. Just bring yourself. I will correct you like the way I want it,
Wow.
Anyways, but yeah, it didn't work out. And then from there, I was like, it's not working out. Give up. Yeah. It's not for you. Try whatever you want to try. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
So I kind of had my conversations with my, my cousins.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, you've seen the light? And I was like, no, it's not that I've seen the light. I think it's not working for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. It's not for me,
So would you say now you would never date interracially again? You're not against interracial relationships, but you personally, it didn't work out for you, so you would never try again?
To be honest with you, I really don't want to go there.
I hear
I
it.
do. I don't.
I hear it.
I don't. But if it's meant to be,
Yeah.
I will not. I will not shake. I will just not go away from it. But
Yeah.
I think it's not going to work out for me because of a lot of more things. And also when you see the families, also, like I remember one of my ex's mom. She was like, "Oh, do you know Kathy from Kenya?" And I was like, "No, but do you know Janice from Canada?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "Well, you see, you're American. She's Canadian. You don't know her. I don't know the Kenyan lady. Like, like I had to explain.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's for me at all.
Yeah. No, I hear
So
it.
yeah. Second one you want to talk about?
Yeah. So I know that you had another engagement that didn't progress to marriage. Do you want to tell us about that one?
Yeah. So finally went to the other side. Got myself a black brother at the time.
Where was he from?
He was actually Sierra Leonean American.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so he was such a great guy. Funny part is that we became friends first.
I think that's always the best, innit? When you're friends.
I was trying to be safe.
Like, that's your your people. That
it was really being safe. So friends, and then it took us 9 months to actually get together. It was really nice and super reserved, and got to talk about so many things. So then we actually started dating, and at the time I had to tell my family about it. And my father was like, "Oh, another American guy," and I was like, "Come on, Dad, this time he's black." And he's like, "Oh, it doesn't mean anything," And I was like, "Come on," and he's like, "Oh, okay." And I had to introduce him to my family. It's like he had locks. My mom don't like locks.
I love locks.
So
locks are so good.
My mom see him, she's like, "Oh, he's got these kind of hands," But yeah, he actually was very intentional. Came to see my family. And I remember we went to Paris together, and we were in this kind of couch. Me and him. And then everybody else was surrounding us, interrogatory type of mode. Asking questions. And he had children. He had a pair of twins, and I just didn't care because I'm the type of person that if I take you, I take everything else.
We was talking about that in one of my previous episodes of how important it is that if you come into someone's life and they have children, you have to make the commitment to love them like they're your own.
Absolutely. You can't count them out. If you count them out, then you're not ready for this.
I agree.
So it went very well. It was a 3.5 relationship. And then he proposed. Actually, I was in the US, and he proposed in Central Park. It's funny. And family met. We kind of did everything we have to do. And we were ready to get into the preparations. We started buying the garments and everything.
Oh, did you want to do a traditional wedding? Is he from Ghana or from Nigeria?
No,
Sierra Leone, you said.
Yeah, he's
so do
not.
they have their own traditional wedding?
No, they don't. But he was embracing it. He was super.
He was embracing the Ghanaian
tradition.
Okay,
yeah. So what happened is that we had everything going on and getting ready to get the African wedding. So 2 months before the wedding, he actually phones me on video call. And he's like, he has this weird face, and I'm like, "You okay?" And he's like,
"Let me put my drink down here. Go on."
It's okay. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna continue." And I'm like,
"Continue the relationship?"
Yeah. And I'm like, "Nigga, what you mean?" Because I was quite mad,
Yeah, obviously.
And obviously put some down payment, so that was a lot of money that we've spent. And he's like, "Nah, I'm breaking up. I can't do this." So I thought he had
just and for you, this literally came out of nowhere, you
didn't see
out
of nowhere.
Okay,
out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But my family did have a bit of suspicion, But then I was like, "Why? What's going on?" And then he's like, "I can't do this." And then he started lying, but I knew it was a lie.
Yeah.
But I was like, "Okay." He said, "Oh yeah, God told him."
What?
That now hear this.
That mic as well, so that they can hear this foolishness.
Is it on? Is it on?
No, it's on. But I just need to make sure that they hear this foolishness.
So he was saying,
God tell him what?
He said that God told him to stay single.
I'm sorry. And 2 months before your wedding.
Right. And then I said, "Trying to be a pope or a priest or something? What's up? Celibate? I don't know. What's up? I thought he had cold feet. So I was like, nah, you talking crazy. I think listen, if you want us to postpone, let's postpone." He was for 3 hours, I was fighting for my relationship.
Oh my
3 hours
God.
video
Yeah.
call, And mind you, the day before I went on surgery, so I was quite a bit,
Yeah.
And he said no, he's not gonna do it. And then that's how he disappeared. And then I remember the last thing he told me was, anyways, you're not wife material.
What?
And I was like, nigga, and I
I'm
was like,
sorry, what?
yeah. And I was like, oh, really? And I said to him, listen, first of all, and I know I said this to him. I said, you know what? You're not making any sense. Go see a therapist, something. Go get some help. I know I'm okay.
Yeah.
I took your kids on, sending them books, clothes, whatever school's on. I did everything I could.
See,
You don't
that's
want
why
it.
people say, like, some men, they just don't appreciate a
No,
good
no,
woman.
no.
Like, and it's
No,
disgusting.
we even put plans together. I was like, okay, because the baby mama was quite like, okay, looks like she's a solid woman, and I was like, we take the kids for school and all that, and then we do this. Like I had plans because I was like,
so you
I'm
didn't
gonna
even
be
have
with
any
you.
baby mother drama. Like, you guys got on. Oh my gosh.
Right? I was like, I'm cool. Like, let's do this. But the thing is, when you are unstable, you don't want the good stuff. Okay, so he left, right, and here I am with £5,000 debt. And
that is insane.
that's because the deposits and here and there, and then especially the venue. The venue was a castle in France,
and everything was like non-refundable. Obviously.
No. And so I'm here like staring at my family. I told my family, and my family's like, "What?" Like everybody's losing their mind. And I got a couple of cousins in the US. They're like, "Do you want me to pull up?" And I'm like, "No, don't do anything." I believed him. Okay. So next thing I know, I'm depressed. I'm so depressed because
obviously
he was literally putting me on all over Facebook. Oh, this is my wifey. Da da da.
That's the thing about men. They'll put you up here, there,
yeah.
everywhere. Still do their foolishness.
He had all these, and also he was also in the rap game, so he wrote a song, whatnot. Anywho, then I go to y'all okay? Then I go to I go to work, right?
Yeah.
And my workplace, they're like, we can't have you around. Just go away. So I go to Ghana for a whole month because I was way too depressed.
That must have cleared your mind, though. Ghana,
oh yeah. I call my cousins.
Yeah.
Straight up, call my cousins. They're like, yeah, just come. So I go there, right? And I had 1 month like super clear, great, and because I thought it was me, I was the problem. I was like, I'm the problem. And my mom's like, no, the problem is you pick the wrong ones. You picking the dirty ones. You always upgrade these guys. Like for example, my very first one, I made this guy know how to wear a suit. Okay.
Crazy.
And the funny thing about the first guy, he was meant to go to jail. And I said, listen, tell them you engaged to me. And I'm doing my law degree, blah, blah. Thanks to me, this nigga didn't even go to 7 years, jail. And that's how you repay me.
Wait, hold on. I need to stop there. To explain to the people, how did you stop a man going to jail?
No, because
that's powers.
So basically,
that's powers right there.
Yeah, so basically,
but you see what happens when you're a good black woman. Okay, go on.
So basically, what happened is that they tell you, have you changed your ways? Because they can go back to.
Is this in America, by the way?
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
So they can say, how can we trust you that you change your ways? And I said to him, give him my number, give me whatever. So they actually had to make a background check about me and my family.
So was it like a parole check type of thing?
Kind of, yeah, something like that. Okay. So going back to having fun and being in Ghana. Yeah. Now I'm at the airport in Ghana. Yeah. And I'm going home. Yeah. Now, my sisters are like, yo, you need to see something. You're not going to be happy about it. And I'm like, oh, what is it? Now, I see him, my ex, right? Put in a picture of him and some strange woman on Facebook. That's literally a month after.
A month?
Yeah.
So she was in the picture the whole time. Because they don't even run that quick. They move quick, but not that quick.
I was like, wait a minute. What?
Where was she from, can I ask?
I have no idea.
Was she black though?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She looked older. But anywho, just going there. I'm not gonna be too long. But basically, I'm at the airport. And I felt like I wanted to slap some people because I was mad, right?
And you have every right to be, babe.
Yeah, I was so mad because I had a great time. Yeah. And now I'm back, and now this. So y'all gonna even not believe this. So I message him, and I'm like, hey, I'm gonna need you to give me that £5,000 back. So just make sure you do that.
But you know the Dusty ain't giving it
And
back
he's
to
like,
you.
yeah, I'll do that. And I'm like, oh, by the way, congratulations on your new relationship. That psycho says thank you and sends hearts. And I'm like, yeah.
You're lying.
And no, I'm not. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Excuse me?
And so knowing that I went to Ghana, I'm gonna be honest with you. Let me tell you something.
And they say Nigerian men are the worst.
So went to Ghana,
Wow.
While I was in Ghana, I know my cousins were like, yo, do not switch back to any type of race because we don't claim this nigga. We telling you, we not claiming him. And I was like,
don't listen you back to the other side.
Yeah. So I was like, no,
it's
it's cool. So I'm seeing this message and I'm like, yo, I show it to my sisters and everybody. And everybody's like, nah, he's crazy.
Yeah.
Then, cut long story short,
yeah,
the woman dumped him. And today, as I'm speaking to you, he's not even, I don't know where he's at. I don't care where he's at.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I know is that healed people make better decisions.
Of course.
And
you're God blessed anyway.
Yeah, I had to understand that this wasn't for me. And I'm so glad I didn't marry this guy because I would have been miserable.
You would have been living hell, babe. You would have been living in a hell. Seriously.
Exactly. And the worst part is that last year, my mom tells me that he told my little sister, because my little sister is she's a minor. She's like, she was 14 at the time.
Yeah.
And my little sister messaged him a while ago saying, I'm so disappointed what you did to my sister. My sister was the best person you could ever have in your life.
Yeah.
And I took you like my big brother. Do you know what he told my sister? He told my sister, he said, well, at this point, I never loved her. So at this point, I had to like get away from that, So I'm hearing this.
Good riddance.
So last year, my mom tells me that, and I'm like, okay. And she's like, no, you need to understand this because I want you to like register this. And I'm like, I registered it already.
But when you guys were in a relationship, did he tell you that he loved you?
Yeah.
He must have. So that's something
he
men
was
will lie
all
through
over
their
the
teeth.
place. So then I realized that I dealt with a narcissist person.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I think that is the definition of a narcissist, literally.
Exactly. So what does that mean today for me? I dodge a bullet. I feel like
yeah, you dodged multiple bullets.
You know what? I
babe.
feel like I'm 50 Cent. Shot 9 times.
50 Cent. The
like
female 50 Cent
like,
in the building
got
right
shot
now.
so many times, but that doesn't going to make me be a bad person.
Amen. Because look at you. You're like, you represent yourself so well. You're still doing your law and you still have your own business. Like, I love that for you.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we want to speak about for the ladies out there, like, what are the red flags in men that we need to like look out for that we might miss, but then you look back and you reflect and you're like, oh, I should have saw from them time there, that man is not for me. That man needs to be returned back to sender, wherever you came from. So yeah, let them know.
Y'all take notes. I'll say the number one red flag is sorry. I'll say the number one red flag is somebody who's unstable in their mind. I ain't going nowhere with you if you can't pick one way. Because even though I've got my job, my money, my stuff, I'm still gonna submit to you. So I need to make sure that you are on top of your game by the time I find you. Because if you're gonna say to me, oh, let's drive this way, or actually this way. Yeah. You driving me, actually, you gonna kill me,
No, yeah, I agree. I would say, like, not unstable mind, but I would say like a man that's led by God. Like,
exactly.
I'm only gonna
Especially
follow a man that's led by God. Like, I'm not just gonna be following you and be submissive to you.
That's right.
Because you're the head. I take me?
Right.
Left, right, up, down, all tell for God.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just feel like, I hear that.
So he has to be stable in his head. He has to communicate.
Of course,
I hate people that don't communicate. I don't like it.
I hate nonchalant men.
It's crazy because you have no idea how it feels not to like. Because if you can communicate from being my boyfriend, then man, I can't even marry you because how am I gonna, how are we gonna function? Because we're a team.
Of course, I agree.
Yeah. Other red flag is, the fact that I'll say this to be like, that's me.
Yeah.
I would not be with a guy that smokes. I hate it.
Smokes weed, smokes cigarettes,
anything.
Smoke anything. Okay.
even the grass. I don't care.
Do you
Like,
is it because is even the grass, okay, guys? Is it because it's like an addiction, or is it just because you just don't like smoking?
it's so unattractive. It's very unattractive.
Yeah.
And also having a family member that's battling with lung cancer because of smoking.
Oh wow, yeah.
It actually pisses me off.
Yeah.
When I see that.
Because it's self-inflicted.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hear that.
Yeah.
So
What
where
else?
are you now in terms of love, and like what are your views on marriage after having those failed engagements?
I guess with time and experience,
Yeah.
I have a better view of what I want.
Yeah.
And especially, I guess, especially, like my mom said, that like you're on the wrong league. Get to your league. I feel like this is actually better. Like it feels better when you talk to somebody who's in your league.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, oh, okay, so he wants to do that. But that one didn't want to do that. I had to like drag this one to do this.
Yeah.
And it feels so much better. I am still gonna be a ride or die. That's no question. I call myself an untamed lioness because I'm like, I go for my people.
Yeah.
And I know in return I will get protection from my man. And I guess what's very important as well is to, being in a relationship, you have to like know that you building together. That's the idea I want to have. Like, I'm building with you.
Of course.
So we can,
the
be a
plans
bit
need to be we, not I. No, I
right,
hear that.
because our kids are gonna look at us, and they're gonna get inspiration from us.
Exactly.
So in terms of choosing, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
So the way I function in my head is like, do I want a son that's gonna look at him? That's my way of thinking.
Yeah.
If I have a son, do I want him to be like his father? You see what I'm saying? So that's
no, for real.
Yeah.
That's deep. No, I hear that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of women, they regret like sleeping with the man that they've had and who's now their baby father. They say, what was I thinking? Was I under the influence of some sort of drug? Because like, what possessed me to sleep with this man and procreate with him and have a child?
Yeah.
But I don't know, they say like you never really know a man until you know a man.
True.
Until they reveal themselves.
It's true.
On down the line and it's too late.
It's true.
What are you gonna do now?
It's true. I think you never stop learning about people, who they are.
Yeah, very
Can
true.
be, for 50 years and you still have no idea who this person is, I guess it's, I guess it's more like more talking and more like picking the person's brain to see whether you're compatible.
Yeah.
But you don't need to sleep with someone to see whether you're compatible. I think before all of that happens, you all need to like see if you're on the same page.
100%.
Because again, you don't want to have regrets. I feel like there's so many things that people can avoid.
Yeah.
Because I always take the lesson of seeing what others have done.
Yeah.
And I'm not perfect, but I'm just making sure that, okay, I don't want to make some decisions that, so yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever been in a relationship where you've ended up like cheating on the other partner or done something that you shouldn't have done?
No.
You've always been 100% faithful.
Yeah, because I always, well, I guess that was probably stupid for me in the beginning, but
don't say it's stupid. I mean, there's not a lot of us left, man. It's stupid.
True.
You know what I mean? Pick up yourself.
I make sure I don't do something that I don't want someone to do to me.
Yeah.
I respect the person. But I guess I love the wrong people. Which is fine. It happens.
But that hasn't made you give up on love. You still have faith.
Absolutely.
Amen. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna close off this episode with just one last question. And I just want you, because I feel like you're quite wise. Obviously, we haven't mentioned it, but you are a Christian woman. Like myself, you're very deep in your faith. I'm quite like
Super
early
deep.
on in my journey, but but is there anything that you could advise like the young women out there to just like take note of in terms of dating and finding the right man, just from like your own mistakes, what you've learned, so that people don't have to make the same mistakes?
So before that, can I quickly share a little bit?
Yeah.
About, because people go, oh yeah, she's a Christian. What is she gonna say? So I was actually born within the church, right? My mom dragged me and, had to go here and there.
Yeah.
But I had to actually encounter God myself,
Mm.
which was something I did till I became a teenager.
Yes.
Because I unfortunately had a very bad episode in my life where I was sexually abused by a family member
I'm
for
sorry
2
to hear
years.
that, babes.
Yeah. So that was actually one of the worst, like time of my life.
Yeah.
Being in the house where everybody's there, but you can't say anything.
Yeah.
Because that other one's gonna kill you if you do anything.
Yeah.
So that really played on my mental and also in school.
Yeah.
And I started actually, getting frustrated in many things in my life until my parents found out and everything.
Yeah.
And
how did they find out? Did you tell them, or did you get
no.
caught
So yeah, we got like my big sister. Shout out to her. She made that happen. I told her, and then she was like, "Okay, we're gonna make a plan. We're gonna set him up." So we had like something like that. And unfortunately, because it's a big taboo in Black people's household,
Yeah.
didn't feel protected.
Yeah.
Actually, I felt like I had my own self for myself.
Mm.
So then from there, I started becoming very angry,
Mm.
hateful,
Yeah.
and I really hurt my family, hurt my friends.
Yeah.
Cut long story short, that's actually where I was at the crossroads.
Yeah.
I even left Christianity and started going to the mosque, wanted to go. But I went to the
Explore other
mosque. It didn't
religions.
even make sense for me because I saw
Mm.
men and women sitting in different lives. Like, hell no,
Yeah.
And so it didn't work out for me. But I re-encountered my faith,
Yes.
from that part because I thought that I didn't deserve anything in this world because of what has happened to me.
Mm.
And because it has happened to me, I wanted everybody to suffer because nobody helped me. Okay, so we'll talk about it another time. But just to share that my faith is what saved my life.
Amen.
Because I was very suicidal. I even tried to knock myself to a bus.
Yeah.
Like it didn't work out because there's something out there.
Amen.
So from there, me choosing on law specifically, not because my parents told me to do it, is because I was like, I had no one defending me. Now I want to defend people. That's got things that nobody could do. I want to be that mouthpiece, for people, whether it's domestic violence or anything, because I felt like that rage I had, I can use it in something else.
Yeah.
So for the women, what was the question again? Sorry.
Just advice for the
Advice.
women, like just what you've learned through your engagements and through your life about the importance of picking the correct partner. So just through the mistakes that you've made, like what would you tell your younger self that you think would help you avoid certain situations that you've encountered?
I say use a lot of wisdom. Be wise. It's not the looks. It's not the looks, it's not the money, the status, or funny enough, my very first ex was a pastor, so it's very interesting.
Yeah.
He's still pastoring with his wife. Whatever.
Yeah.
But be very careful and make sure this person is out there for your interest, good interest.
Yeah.
Because when you love someone,
Yeah.
your job is to make them feel great. And it has to be vice versa. So the advice I'll give is don't fall into anybody's arms just like that, just because you feel some kind of way.
Yeah.
And no, it's not too late. I'm 33 years old.
Yeah.
I'm currently talking to someone who's amazing.
I love that for you.
And I'm
babe.
like, whoa,
I love that for you.
Yeah, I speak to my sisters. I'm like,
do you know what?
Oh
it's
my
hard,
gosh.
as a female, because I feel like when you find someone and you think, oh, this is the love of my life, and then it doesn't work out, and you're left heartbroken, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, what do I do?
Yeah.
But hearing that, like, it gives me hope.
It gets better. All I can say is that it gets better. And educate yourself is so important.
Yeah.
You're reading some good books about, understanding how men think.
Tell us the name so we can read.
There's a good book, a fantastic book written by a couple. So the man wrote a book about how women think, and the woman wrote a book about how men think.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, oh, I understand how
What's
men
it called?
think now. So it's called so the author's name is Shanti Feldham.
Yeah.
And it's called About Men.
Yeah.
And then so if you're a couple,
yeah,
you can actually
read like in reverse.
Yeah, that's right. And the husband's called Jeff Feldham.
Mm-hmm.
And so read some books, listen to some good, healthy podcasts. And I'll say this too, like, make sure you investigate on the person. Not trying to say be a detective,
yeah,
but make sure you check the background.
Also, guys, I just want to use this time to bring awareness. In the UK, if you're watching from the UK, we have something called CLAS Law. And it's not just for women, it's also for men, but it's where you can find out about whether your partner that or the person that you're seeing has any allegations of domestic violence or anything as
Exactly.
such brought against them before. Because in many cases, like, he hits you once and he says he'll never do it again, but this is his pattern. This is who he is. He's never going to change. So if you can find out beforehand, you will save yourself a lot of pain and a lot of heartache. So it's CLAR's Law. You can Google it, you can search it up. It's a bit long to do the procedure, but it is worth it, and it can actually potentially save your life. So yeah, CLAR's Law. You guys can look that up. Yeah, sorry to cut you.
No problem. What was I saying?
You were saying, girl. What was you saying?
To be wise. I mean,
yes.
Yeah, the
yes,
books.
the book.
Yeah, educate yourself. You don't like
Yeah.
reading, listen to an audible.
Yeah.
Investigate, as she said,
Yeah.
check if he's not on some offenders list or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'll say most importantly, do not downgrade yourself. Do not feel less confident or whichever it is. There's one thing I know is that in this world, we are there's nobody that's gonna be like, like you.
Yeah, everyone's
It's like the snowflakes. Each snowflake has a different shape. Each stars have a different shape.
Yeah.
When it dies down, that's it,
Yeah.
And I'll say this for men and women.
Yeah.
Is that, trust your dopeness. You need to trust your freshness. Like, you're fresh. That's it. And if people don't like you, they don't like the seasoning that you bring in people's life.
Yeah.
They don't, it's fine. They don't like good taste.
Yeah. Sometimes you're Scotch bonnet and some people can't manage.
Exactly. So don't actually get to a point where you think you're a problem. You're not a problem.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to find you at the end of the day. So, yeah, the advice I'll give to men and women, be honest, be intentional. Don't be scared to be vulnerable in a way.
Yeah.
And it's not because somebody has not been able to see you, for who you are, that means that everybody's going to do the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, and also especially heal. It's important. It would take time, but as I said, healed people make better decisions. And trust me, I'm so glad where I am right now.
Yeah.
Because I would have been a very miserable person if I carried on, being married. And so just need people to like be very positive, share, like talk, like a man that cry for me, it's fine. I don't care. I'm not be like, oh my gosh, why are you crying? Like,
Yeah.
I'll actually be like, you know what?
No,
just
same. I love men who can show their emotions because I just feel like that makes you a real man.
Absolutely.
Like, don't be trying to hide it or
exactly
like, act all like nonchalant.
And the thing
is,
I would not call you out for doing that. I'll be like, it's normal. Talk to me. What's up? Like, And so, and also don't be scared, women, ladies, to be, to be ride or dies.
And to be, be ride or dies, and also to be vulnerable, not just because you've had bad experiences in the past. You've got to come as like a hard shell.
Right.
In the next one, like, just be vulnerable, be open, and have an optimistic view. But yeah, guys, that is the episode wrapped up. Rich and true. Thank you to my beautiful friend, my wise friend that came and was so brave, and she shared her story. And I hope you guys learn for it. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.